Hi, Big Brother.
Hello, Dermot.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about the nominations this week. I think I've done enough to stay in, but it is pretty hard, I tell you. There's some really strong contenders out there. I think they could win. I just don't want to go out first.
Dermot, for the last time, you are not a housemate. You are the presenter of Big Brother's Little Brother.
Yeah.
And you are now late for your show. So jump to it, you stupid little man.
Sorry. Welcome, my friends, to Big Brother's Little Brother. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Which one of these is going to go? Who do you think it's going to be? We'll be finding out later on. Call BBLB on the number below. We want to know who you want to stay in the house. Vanessa Felch is here, ladies and gentlemen. And Ian Lee's here as well, giving their opinion on the first round of Big Brother nominations. And London Calling. Hello, is that London Calling? Is that LA? Oh, yeah. We're going transatlantic stateside over the pond with our Hollywood correspondent Nelson Aspen is going to give us the inside take on Jackie and Sly live. OMG, check that out. Oh, yeah, he's right there. And that's the proof that he's there as well. So, Jackie and John facing the public vote. Remember, you're not voting to evict. You're voting to save your favourite. Let's have a quick reminder of whose nominations went where.
My first nomination is John.
John.
Now, I don't know their names, dear.
John with his snots. Ew, it's just gross.
John is just a very ugly man. Now, let's start with number one.
Bez, probably the worst thing is that ha, his laughter the whole time. That'll live with me.
Can't speak English very well. You might as well be speaking Chinese.
Lisa, really bossy as the queen. Oh, my lord.
The tall, handsome one reminds me sort of like a Beverly Hills gigolo.
Well, the fellas out there will die, but I'm putting Caprice up. Cold, calculating, inanimate.
My second nomination goes to Jacqueline.
Jackie.
Jackie. The shock that I had when she walked through the door, I went, oh my God, I can't believe this.
And we don't want Sylvester Stallone coming over the wall with his first blood and that, setting traps all over the house for his housemates to fall into.
There are 2 people nominated this week. Jackie.
I knew it.
And John.
Now, we all know I've got a trout pout in the house, but have we got any sharks? Here to cast a gaze over the players in the house and work out the gameplay is poker gambling expert Victoria Coren, everyone. Did you like my grifter moves there? I thought that was very impressive.
Clever.
How are you, Victoria? Thanks a lot
Very
for coming on. So how is Big Brother similar to playing poker?
Well, it's like a poker tournament, you know? It's a knockout. Everyone's aiming to be the person left at the table at the end of the game with all the chips. And the tactics for survival are very similar. There's a bit of deceit, a bit of bluff, a lot of timing.
Mm-hmm. And when you were watching it, did you, because obviously you're gambling on it and so forth, did you pick up on this when you were first seeing it? You just thought...
There's a lot of that going on, and you know who really picked up on it was Jermaine. She gave interviews where she was obviously reading these people like poker players. This one's got those tactics, that one's got these. There's a lot of familiar stuff going on there.
And you've played poker with a couple of people in the house. We're going to get onto that in a minute. But how do the nominations fit into the world of poker?
Well, because poker in some ways is a social game, like Big Brother. There's an element of banter, there's friendship. But underneath it all, basically, you're there to knock people out, to beat them. You've got your friends round, and you're having a laugh with them. But if you have to bluff them out of a pot, if you have to deceive them and lie to them, that's what you've got to do. Same with Big Brother. If they've got to sneak in and nominate someone and never tell them they've done it, that's the tactics of winning.
Do you think you'd be quite good in there, then, if you were ever to go in the house? Do you think you could... Because it's quite a long poker game, obviously, isn't it? In the summer, it's a 10-week-long poker game, so obviously it'd be quite difficult.
I think I'd fall down when it came to the pheasant plucking.
Yes, I can understand that. There's a lot of that going around, don't worry. OK, so there are stereotypes of poker players, and our housemates kind of almost concur with that, don't they? I mean, give us a stereotype to start with, and we'll look at some clips.
Well, take John and Lisa. They are crazy gamblers. They act without thinking. They make a lot of moves. They're imposing their personality on the game. That is the ruthless tournament player.
I'll see you, John and Lisa. And I'll raise you a clip about John and Lisa.
Where in the world is the wine?
Your wine? I don't know. I think you have to go ask for it.
You gotta be kidding. You mean it's not here yet?
Jeremy's doing our shopping. When Jeremy comes out, he may well bring it. If not, you will have to go and request it.
Go where to get it?
To the diary
You were
room.
sitting here waiting for me. Let me ask you, is there any toast beans?
If you want toast, love, there's a toaster over there and there's bread there. You make your own toast. It's there.
Chill out, Sean, lad. Don't be shouting.
I don't lose sleep over it, bro.
I can make it if I have to.
Good. Go and show us.
I love Jackie as the actual conduit to that. Whatever clip we use, Jackie's going to be in it. OK, so what does that tell us?
Basically, there's not a lot of strategy going on. With those two, with John and Lisa, they're getting it out there. You know, every time they think something, they say, look, it's like this. This is an argument with somebody. This is telling someone what to do. This is voicing their opinion. They're constantly putting their chips out there at risk. And it's a dangerous way to play. You might double up or you might lose the lot in one hand.
Allah.
You demonstrate beautifully.
Snake eyes, baby. The house always wins. So, I mean, you've played poker with John as well.
Well, this is the funny thing. I have played poker with John McCririck, and he plays in exactly the same way he's playing Big Brother. He sets out immediately...
This is nonsense.
He does, exactly. He sets out to bully the table. He makes lots of moves very early on. He's very aggressive. There's a lot of bluster there. And I have to say, he's been knocked out early from every poker tournament I've ever seen him in. Yeah.
OK, so what other characters are there?
Well, then you get your more cautious, tactical player. Your sort of your Caprice, your Brigitte, the kind of person you don't by any chance have...
Ah, yes. I'll raise you, Caprice and Brigitte. Go on, carry on, sorry.
Well, they're just much more thoughtful. They think through their moves. They don't act without thinking. They plan what they're going to do. Much slower and more tactical.
OK, we've got a clip of Bridget doing that. Let's take a look.
You're the one that all the headlines in the papers are about.
How do you think I should react to it?
Right, you react with as much dignity as you possibly can. But don't do what they want you to do. Go to each other's throats and you sit to Sly and he did that. Don't do any of that.
Because it could get
Just
terrible.
react with dignity. Remember.
Okay.
So, what game is she playing there?
Well, you see, she's planning ahead. It's very clever. She's not... When Jackie comes into the house, she doesn't snap, she doesn't shout. She goes out into the garden and thinks through, how shall I play her? How shall I do this? Caprice is very similar. Caprice is another one who plays poker. In fact, she's actually the face of Paradise Poker, which is one of the poker websites. And she's obviously, over the last year of promoting that and playing on Paradise, she's learned a few tricks. Today, we actually heard... I think it was John say, I don't know Caprice any more today than I did when she first came in.
Sure.
And Jermaine said, nothing that woman does is spontaneous.
Sure.
Similarly tactical, like we see Bridget there in the garden saying, I don't know how to react. Caprice is another one. She's not being spontaneous. She is thinking, what shall I say next? What shall I do? So, for example, this is a Bridget move, you know? Jackie's come into the house, I'll make a little bet. I'll have a small gamble.
And that...
So if she loses it, she's still got chips left.
And that bears dividends?
Well, it can do, because if you win, great.
There you go, congratulations.
You're very kind.
Just very briefly, very briefly, who do you think will win in relation to the game they're playing?
Funnily enough, I think Bez is going to win, and I'll tell you why. I tell you why, because just like with a poker game, you can go a certain way with skill, but it's a lot about luck. A player like Caprice, like Brigitte, they can last longer than they otherwise would with these tactics. But if you're lucky, if you're born like Bez, the kind of guy that people are going to love, then you already have a strong hand.
Brilliant.
You don't have to bluff, it plays itself.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Victoria, everyone. Woo! OK, the honeymoon period is over. It's time to get down to some real Big Brother business. If you want to save Jackie or John from eviction, you need to pay very close attention to this. To vote for Jackie to stay, call 09011 32 33 04 or text Jackie to 84444. To vote for John to stay, call 09011 32 33 06 or text John to 84444. Now, there's been a fair amount of debate in the House regarding a certain young lady's age. Kenzie and Brigitte were chatting about it the other night. Take a look.
She's just let loose.
Completely.
Which is quite... How old is she? If you, do you know?
I know, but I can't tell you.
You can't... Yeah, of course. It's not for you to say to me.
No. But it's interesting.
Well, we might as well do it. So, how old do you think Jackie is? If you think she's 70 to 75, text poll A to 83188. If you think she's 76 to 80, text poll B to 83188. Or, if you think she's over 81, text poll C to 83188. We'll find out what you think at the end of the show. After the break, Little Brother's Big News will bring you up to date with today's House action. Vanessa Feltz and Ian Lee will be championing their favourite celebrities, and we link up with Hollywood to find out more details about Jackie. Yeah, Jackie. We'll see you in 3.
Keep watching Celebrity Big Brother's Little Brother on Channel 4.
Hey, welcome back to Big Brother's Little Brother. Hope you're well. Did you miss me as much as I missed you? Probably not. Still to come, Vanessa and Ian on Jackie and John, plus Hollywood correspondent Nelson Aspen, who are joining us live via satellite from Los Angeles. Now, before we spoke about the nominations, but what else has been happening today in the Big Brother house? It's time for Little Brother's Big News. Oh, you don't need to applaud that. Christ almighty, that could have gone terribly wrong. The fridge cam has been exposed. At 9:59, Eagle-Eyed Jeremy discovered the BBLB fridge cam. Catastrophe.
I think there's a camera in the fridge.
Really?
Have we not seen on the left?
No.
Little lens pointing up.
It just looks a bit weird.
It's got a lens there, look.
I may well be being paranoid.
All right, execs are still in discussion whether to keep the fridge cam in operational use. Next up, Jacqueline and Bridget seem to have smoked the pipe of Big Brother peace and put the past behind them. Take a look.
Let's dance! Let's dance! Let's dance! Let's dance! La 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 la.
This is the first time they did this.
Yeah, man.
It's the first time we passed.
Let's see who had the most to gain by putting these stories in, not me. What am I going to gain? My interest is just seeing my son happy. And
he deserves to be happy.
I think.
And you know what it is, Jackie? Life is too short. Life is too short. Let's get over it. But you know what we need? We need to sit down and spit it out and at least become friends that respect each other.
OK, and finally, it was only a matter of time. Jeremy has got his hands on one of the most sought-after objects in the house. Capri Express.
This is great.
I've never seen you so happy.
What, you're going to do the top of it? Come on, don't be shy.
I don't want.
With her permission, she asked me to. Look, yes, see you. And I've made it.
I've made it.
Fantastic. Well done, boys.
That was Little Brother's Big News. Now, we're a bunch of news hounds here on BBLB, and we're very proud of it. Very, very proud of it. Thank you. The whole world has been wondering what Sylvester Stallone would make of his mother's appearance in the house. Everybody wanted it. We've got it. OK, we talked to Sly's people. We got an exclusive quote. Speaking this afternoon, he said, it's my mother's time. It's my mother's show. I wish her all the best. I hope she's still there in the end. Sylvester Stallone, 13th of January, in the year of our Lord, 2005. Let's find out what Hollywood makes of it all. Let's go live to LA and top showbiz correspondent Nelson Aspen. Hey, Nelson.
Hello there.
Oh, Nelson, it is nice to speak to you. Now, is Hollywood aware that she's in the Big Brother house?
You know, Jackie doesn't have a publicist that I know of, so she's kind of off the radar screen. She tries to go to all the parties. You know, she'd go to the opening of a cereal box, I think, sometimes. But no, we don't really keep up with Jackie. We see infomercials sometimes. She frequently appears as herself on various talk shows and the like. And, you know, she's a shameless self-promoter, and that's one of the things you love about her, whether it's ladies wrestling or pet psychics or astrology. She's always out there getting her name and her latest face into the cameras.
Well, she's not letting the side down over here. Now, we know Sylvester Stallone found out this morning. We got a quote from him, but how do you think he reacted?
Well, I think he probably was like, oh, ma, but that was a great statement that I'm sure his press agent helped him write. I think, you know, it's kind of like another aging action star named the Governor of California, who's settling into that elder statesman role and is becoming more of a mogul, a gentleman, and I think Stallone handled it, Sylvester Stallone, mind you. I think he handled it well.
Sure. Okay, now, Sylvester Stallone's ex-Bridget is also in the house. They're getting on quite well. Are you surprised to hear that?
Well, at first I was surprised, but if you think about it, it kind of makes sense. They're both divorcees, they're both mothers, they both like the limelight. They actually have a lot in common, and I found an old quote of Jackie Stallone's that she probably regrets making. She said, "An actress is someone with no ability who sits around waiting to go on alimony." So she probably is eating those words now.
Okay, but now that Bridget's making the news again, do you think there's any chance of a comeback movie-wise for her in La La Land?
Well, you know, the funny thing is she never stops working. I mean, just because they're terrible movies that may go directly to video doesn't mean she's not working. But this is really going to help her hip factor. She's kind of enjoying a resurgence of cool. So, yeah, I think this will definitely help her.
Nelson, would love to speak to you again. Thank you very much for talking to us today, OK? Nelson Aspen, everyone. Doing the LA Marathon as well. OK, it's the first of Vixens tomorrow night. We're now joined by our celebrity, well, our first celebrity supporters. It's Vanessa and Ian, everyone. What? Really?
The Governor.
How are things? OK, how are we enjoying the show?
God, we're loving it. It is sensational, arguably the best ever.
What do we like about it?
I like the violence.
Yeah, the violence. I like John McCurrick picking his nose and eating his bogies. That's romantic. And just Brigitte, she's fit, isn't
fantasy.
she?
He definitely would with
A fit
Bridge.
older woman who looks a little bit like a man. That's my dream.
He likes that.
That's my dream.
It is a heartbreak, though, that these two are up for eviction this week, isn't it?
Tragedy to lose either of them, but Jackie Stallone, what a woman. She is my role model. I'm working towards it in every way. She turns that whole thing about sweet elderly ladies smelling of lavender right on its head. She hasn't had a bath.
She looks like Rocky after the fight with Apollo Creed, when his face is everywhere.
I think, you know, this idea, is she 71, is she 81? She is at least 400 or 500 years old, and we have to think about that.
I just love the fact that she thinks she lives in the 30s, or she said, where's my martini?
And where's her harpist?
Yes.
I think it's disgusting that they haven't given her a harpist.
Absolutely.
With their meals.
Well, let's have a look at the two main contenders in action.
You know something, this morning, I'm bonding with John. Now I'm unbonding with him.
She's the next worst thing to the Bride of Wildenstein.
I heard you're an intelligent, brilliant man. I would like to see it. I don't believe it. I'm going to ask my
You
wife.
can't ask while Jeremy is in there.
Yeah, but my wine is
How's
in
your wine? Jeremy's in there. You like a queen bee, you lie there and wait for everybody to look after you.
Whatever you do, I'll copy. Now, what are you going to do? Sit in the chair, I'll join you. As a matter of fact, if anyone's done nothing, it's you. But how about you getting off your ass and cooking
I'm doing
yourself?
the tea, woman,
Well, how
all right?
about- I'm beginning to like you now. I don't know if I do.
Correct. I don't want to be liked by anybody.
Well, don't worry.
If she were a dog, she would be put down. Look at the state of her.
So
Jesus.
nasty. What about his nose? I've never seen it. It's like a crustacean growing out
Well,
of his nose.
I think we're kind of to blame for that, because his nose was fine before he went in. I'm a bit worried now, because I'm sure there's nothing in the small print that says he can't sue if we do stuff
If you mess his nose up. He's just having a good pick around.
OK, now let's just go for this.
Yes.
Why should Jackie stay in?
Jackie should stay because she is a beacon unto the nation. She is hilariously funny. She sounds like Robert De Niro in Taxi Driver. She looks like the Bride of Wildenstein. She never washes. She's really unpleasant. She's tough as hell. She wants a harp. She's as lazy as anything. And I think she's sensational comic brilliant.
She wants her harp.
I mean, you know.
Get that woman the
Give her
harp.
a harp. And give her a drink. She needs a drink.
Oh, we're butchers.
Don't torture the elderly. It's not kind, is it?
Well, the thing is, everyone keeps saying she's jet lagged. She keeps going to sleep because she's old.
She's very... I mean, most people her age, let's face it, are sitting
Most people
in
her age smell of weed.
Well, she probably smells of weed, but they normally sit sitting at Twilight home watching Jack and Ori with the sound turned down, and she's on the telly. She's a game old stick. You've got to admit that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
A game old stick, that's fine, isn't it?
Ian, John, do the girl... Why, well, you know, girls surely must hate John.
Girls love John and they just won't admit it. Oh, we've all got the vote. We've got nearly equal pay. Shut up. He knows exactly what they want. They want to be involved in a John McCrick tit wank.
Oh, cleaving sex with John McCrick.
That's what he was banging on about tonight. That's I've got a beautiful image in my head.
Luckily, it's now 9 minutes past 12, so I probably don't have to apologise for that for the first time in my career. Vanessa,
yes.
If you could give one piece of advice to the celebrities, I know you wrote the open letter, which I read.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
yeah.
What would it be?
I'd tell Lisa Hanson to shut up. She is the bossiest woman I've ever seen. Why is she the self-appointed teller of the rules and bossy? Shut up!
You went potty. Why are you asking her for advice?
I think I know. I've lived there, I've been through it, and I've come out the other side. I'm very qualified to give advice.
Ian, your advice?
My advice to John is just keep on going. Don't give in to what those women say. Just put your point forward. You're a legend. He's a true British eccentric.
I would like to say I love that little Kenzie, though.
You like him?
Oh,
I love
you'd eat him alive.
He's a sweetheart, though, and he's brave and feisty.
He is. Well,
He
I think
is.
I like Kenzie just keeps surprising us with his good manners and so
He's
forth.
just charming, he's amusing, he takes on the crew.
These
and
rap
he's only about
stars
that
are a
big.
good influence for the kids
He's a
of
good
today.
person, exactly.
Yeah.
Take him as your role model, children.
OK, dokes, let's time to go to the callers for Call BBLB. We asked you who you want to stay in the house and why. You guys now have to fight your corner.
Come on.
Let's go to Mark in London. Hello, Mark.
Hello, Dermot.
Go for it, mate.
Yeah, well, I was OK until I heard about the John McCreary tit wank. And then that just, threw me. But other than that, I've got to say, I think Jackie is a freak show.
Yes.
She's the biggest freak. She's got to stay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Other than you, Vanessa.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're
I'm very proud to blaze the trail.
You come the closest.
OK, it must be more than the fact she's quite... Oh, we find her quite freaky.
Well, she's no nonsense, though. She's a cynic, she's hard-nosed, she's hardcore.
Oh, imagine her in hardcore. That would upset me.
Sensational. John McCrick would probably... I think John McCrick fancies her anyway.
Very briefly, Ellie in Fulham. Go for it, Ellie.
Hiya.
Go for it.
Well, my friends are going to absolutely kill me for saying this, and he is a bit of a disgusting pig, but John to stay.
Come on, Ellie! You love him.
He's absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
You fancy him a bit as well, don't you, Ellie?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good girl.
He should be excised like a horrible growth, that man.
It's a debate that's set to run and run. Everyone, Vanessa and Ian. Earlier I asked you how old you thought Jackie was. The results are A, 23%, B, 19%, and C, 58%. However, it does say on her birth certificate she is indeed 71. Before we go, we have time to look at tomorrow's headlines. First up, let's take a look at... OK, it's the Daily Mirror, so freak out. Jackie and John to go head-to-head in the first eviction. Next up, it's The Sun. It's OK, it's pretty respectable. We're happy with that. My best sex ever. Red Hot Threesome as groupie fellas waited outside. Check this out. The story, the paper that broke the story Watergate. The Washington Post. So they picked up Associated Press. Greer walks out of Big Brother with a slam. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That's all from BBLB. Tomorrow night, one of the celebrities is going to be leaving the house because you don't want them there. Join Davina at 9 to find out. We're back at 11:40 with the first evictee. Have a great night tonight. Go to sleep now. Bye-bye.